From classrooms to the field, truth and laughter both revealed. Tune in for that special feel. Nampa School's always real. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, hear the beat. Join the podcast, take your seat.
All right, welcome into Season 2, Episode 7 of the Nampa School District Podcast, brought to you by CapEd Credit Union. CapEd, it's more than baking, it's making a difference. As you can see, I am writing solo today. Matt is out of the office currently, so I am presenting today's podcast for you. My name is Tyler Keefe. I'm the Digital Communications Specialist for the Nampa School District. And today, not to confuse you, this is Season 2, Episode 7, but this is actually the second installment of the CapEd Credit Union Financial Literacy Series, where Matt Sizemore sits down with CapEd's own Brenna Greenwood as they talk about financial literacy. This second episode is all about budgeting. Really good episode, and it's really important, especially as we enter the holiday season. One thing I want to note, this one is going to be an audio-only episode. We just had some technical difficulties with the camera on this one. Not exactly sure what happened, to be honest with you. So sit back, listen, and enjoy the show. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Episode 2. Once again, we are bringing in CapEd's financial education specialist, Brenna Greenwood. Thanks for coming back, Brenna.
Of course.
All right, let's talk some more about finances. I learned so much in episode 1. I'm excited to learn more. We're going to talk about budgeting today. That is something that so many people, first off, I remember you don't like that word.
No, it's my least favorite word in the financial realm, but that's okay. We'll work with it.
Okay, and we will. And I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people don't want to hear about budgeting and, I have to limit myself when it comes to think about these things.
Right. Some people love it. Those like number crunchers and like, they're like, yes, but it takes all kinds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. And budgeting, of course, it's one of those words, like you were saying, some people just tune out. It does like, I don't want to hear it. Or maybe it can lead to panic in some situations.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
How would you define what a budget really is?
I think a lot of people think of a budget as like, what can I not have?
Okay.
Right?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
If you flip the script and you say, a budget empowers me to have what I want, all of a sudden, maybe it's like not quite so hard to be like, okay, a budget's important. I think the majority of people would say, oh yeah, having a plan for your money is really important. But on the other side of the coin, how many people are actually using one, actually tracking it, actually following through, adjusting where needed, like doing the things that actually make you a successful money manager?
Sure.
So yeah, I think that there's a myriad of reactions to the word, but I think we all agree it's important. It's just having a plan for what you're going to do with your money.
Right. If only you could look at it as a hobby. And the people that do, oh my gosh, props to them.
I know.
Sure.
I wish I could be more like them.
Yeah, me too. So there are a lot of people, of course, that say, I'm good with money. I'm already good with money. I just assume that those people are people that have budgets.
Right.
But maybe it's not, in some cases. So why is having a budget, no matter if you're good with money or not, so important?
Yeah. I mean, so we can have goals.
Okay.
Goals are like, this is what I want to do with my money. These are like rough percentages of where I want to spend things. That's great. You can also be someone who doesn't really have goals, but tracks your money really well. I know exactly where every dollar is going. If we don't like combine those things, the goals and the tracking, you don't actually have a budget, right? Because a budget is a plan that you track and follow through on, make adjustments where needed.
Okay.
So you have to have all of those things in order to be like truly following a budget. And it doesn't have to be a spreadsheet, right? Your budget can look a lot of different ways.
Sure.
But you have to have like, these are my goals. This is my actual spending. This is my actual income. Because if we're not understanding those things, then we're not really having a successful plan for our money. We might have ideas floating out in the universe.
Sure. Now let's talk about this, because this is something I think a lot of people who maybe don't, I shouldn't say it, but maybe don't really know a lot or about money per se. And I'm talking about gross income versus net income, because people might see, oh, I'm getting a job with this gross income. That sounds great.
Right.
Until you get your first paycheck and say, well, where's the rest of it? So what exactly is the difference between gross and net income?
Yeah, I love that. Someone told me the easiest way to remember on the planet, and now I will never forget. Gross income is gross because you don't get to keep it all. Ew. Right?
Well
like,
put,
ew,
yes.
gross. I don't get to keep all of it. Gosh darn it. That, $60,000 a year job would have been so nice if I actually got $60,000. And then net income is if your gross income fell from the ceiling and someone handed you net and was like, what you catch, you get to keep.
Oh, man. Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So easy way to remember it. But the reality is that we have to understand the difference between those two things. We also have to understand what is going to come out of our paycheck.
Right.
Because like you said, the job that's advertised as so much money per hour or so much money per year, that's gross.
Yeah.
It's not net.
Okay.
Right. And so you have to understand that's not actually what I'm going to see on my paycheck. And part of it is just what's going to come out naturally because of things like taxes. But there's also things that I'm probably going to elect to have taken out. We call these voluntary deductions.
Sure.
Like I would raise my hand. I was like, please take out money for my 401k.
Okay.
And when I choose those things, I still have to plan for those things to
Right.
come out of my paycheck. I don't get to use those as my take home money, even though I hypothetically still get to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things that are involved with that. Like even with selecting a health plan, if you're a full-time employer, you put so much money into one thinking, oh, I might have to go to the doctor a bunch of times, or you can risk it and start an HSA, pay
Right.
little to nothing, and then hope that nothing happens.
Right. It's all personal.
That's right.
We talked about that last time.
There we go.
Right?
Well remembered. So with that, why is it so important to budget with that money? Because people aren't necessarily looking at that, but why is it important if you're maybe starting a new job to maybe plan for that pre-tax or maybe post-tax, what you're actually going to be taking home? Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think that if we assume that we're going to be making more than we actually are, our budget is immediately off, right? And if we're spending more than we're actually making, that's when we find ourselves in trouble, right? That's where we find ourselves going into debt, or we find ourselves going why is money so tight? Why are my reserves disappearing? A lot of times it's because we didn't notice that shift, right?
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, we make elections every year
Yeah.
that change. And if you created your budget 5 years ago and haven't adjusted it, but your plan's adjusted, that could be why you're feeling some of that tension in your budget, because it has to change along with your life.
Yes. Okay. Well put there. Inflation, everything happened, and you got to adjust.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
So, and here's something a lot of people forget. There, of course, you have your normal recurring bills that you pay. Maybe you're on auto pay for most of these things. You don't think twice about it. But then there's a lot of things that maybe come out of nowhere that you don't even think about. Like a big one is insurance premiums, car registration, especially if you have those on auto pay like I do. So at some point in the year, suddenly $500 vanishes. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? Oh, right, that. Why are these so important to know about and plan for?
Well, yeah, because if you don't, what happens, right? All of a sudden you're like, I had that $500 allocated for something else, and now I'm stressed and panicked, and that long-term stress, right, has negative effects on your health. So if we know about them, we say hey, I know I'm going to have to register my car every year to 2 years. Maybe I put a reminder on my calendar somewhere. Maybe I have an auto deduct every month into a specialized savings account that's specifically for those one time per year or maybe biannual payments that you pay out of that account instead of paying out of your main account, where it all of a sudden comes through and you're like, oh, I forgot that was even happening. Hopefully there's enough to cover everything, or I have to eat ramen for the next month in order to cover that payment. We know they're coming up.
Yeah.
We often can calculate how much they're going to be for, because they told us,
Right.
right?
They did.
And so it becomes like, how am I planning for this? Do I want to put a little bit aside every month? Do I want to take something away for that month in order to have that be in there? But if you forget about it completely, that's where you wind up in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go back to just making a budget in general for those who, sorry about saying that word again, budget, but for those who want to start, who say, I'm in financial dire straits right now, I need to change something. I don't know where to start. Where do you start and what do you make the top priority?
Oh gosh. I think you, in a little bit, I think you kind of have to look at two things, right? I think the first thing is you have to make sure that your needs are covered.
Okay, of course.
Right?
Sure.
Are like, do you have your housing paid for? Or do you have food? Do you have transportation? Like the big stuff.
Okay.
Those things are the first things that you have to take care of. Right? I also think that saving should be a very big priority, specifically emergency saving.
Right. Yeah.
And I know we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through here, but the reality is that we all know emergencies happen, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yes.
And so if we can be prepared for that, imagine the stress difference of like, I got in a car accident and now I have to fix my car and I don't know where the money's going to come from and I'm not going to be able to eat. And am I going to be able to make rent this month because I need my car to go to my job? So I have to fix, right? Like there's that.
Yeah.
And then there's the like, oh, well, I've been paying my biannual car insurance, so that'll help a little bit. Plus, I have a good chunk of money saved up in my emergency fund. And so, man, this sucks, but like it's going to be okay. It might take a little while to get it all like figured out. But like, imagine the difference in your life between those two scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
And then recognizing like anytime you make a change, it's going to be really uncomfortable at first.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, yes, you might have to stop buying shoes. You might have to stop going to as many comedy shows, whatever it is, for a little while. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop doing it forever.
Right.
Right? It's like, how do I stop the bleeding so that the wound can heal properly?
Yeah.
And then we go from there.
So striking that balance between covering the essentials and leaving room for some of the other things you want to do, like a comedy show or something like that. Is it just a matter of convincing yourself and telling yourself this will leave you financially healthy and probably mentally and physically more healthy in the long run? I
think that that's part of it. I also think that for a lot of us, especially those of us who are either spenders or avoiders, where we're like, we don't like to pay attention to the money and we just hope that there's enough there, but we also really like to spend it. Doing like an analysis of where your money's actually going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is so eye-opening. Like if you take your last like 3 months of bank statements and you just go color code highlighter, right? Like I'm going to highlight all the eating out in blue. All of a sudden, right? Then you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much blue. And then you go to tally the total and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so much blue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's really eye-opening to say like, oh, I actually have a lot more like disposable income going around.
Sure.
That I'm spending on stuff that I don't actually need.
Right.
That I feel like my needs are suffering. And I just need to make an adjustment.
Okay.
It's not that you have to stop eating out completely a lot of the time, right? It's that you have to cut back.
Yeah.
And maybe if you just cut back by half, what would that look like in your budget?
Yeah. And that's so important what you just said, though. Are my needs suffering? And if they are, you've got to make that change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great way to look at that. So one thing, and I think so many people do this, you apparently, and this was something we were talking about, not on camera, whatever we do, not on microphone.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just rely on your online banking accounts to track your spending.
No.
Why? And you seem
don't
really
do that.
So why exactly? Because I know so many people that do. Everything's electronic these days. So
Okay. Have you ever online shopped?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you ever online shopped where it doesn't go through for a while after you purchase it?
Yes.
Okay. Because a lot of times, like if you're online shopping, they don't actually charge your bank account until they ship it.
Oh.
What if it takes them 2 weeks to ship it?
Oof. That could
right?
hurt.
And all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, I already bought that. So it already came out of my account, but it actually didn't. And then you spend money on something else thinking that you have the money in your bank account to do it. And then that charge hits your account, boom, you're overdrafted and you're like, but I swear I had the money.
Yeah.
Or what about automatic payments? Do you always get reminders when those are going to come out of your account? Or do you look at your account and go, hey, look, the money's in there. I can buy this thing, forgetting that I have an automatic payment set up for tomorrow. Right. Or what about gas stations? Have you ever had a hold
1 cent
put on, right? Sometimes it's 1 cent, but in some places it can get to be like really expensive holds, like hundreds of dollars, because the business has to plan for you to be able to take as much gas as possible, right?
Sure.
So they put this hold on your account of $50, $100, and you're going, I only got $20 worth of gas,
right?
Which is great, except for the fact that what if you did it on a Friday and everything's closed? Sometimes things don't balance out, and then your whole weekend's thrown off.
Yeah, because
it's fun fact: if you want to avoid the hold, go inside and pay.
Oh, really?
Yep, it'll only charge you what you use, $20 on pump 2, right? And then it'll only be the $20.
Even with the card? Mm-hmm. Oh, I did not.
You just have to go inside. If you do it at the pump, they don't know how much you're going to pump.
Huh.
If you do it inside, they know how much you're going to pump. You can say, put $40 on pump 4.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you avoid the hold. Okay. But you can't use your online bank account because oftentimes it's not accurate.
Okay.
Right?
Good. Yeah.
So you want your budget to be as accurate as possible, and you don't want to spend money that you don't actually have, especially when it's like those impulse buys.
Yeah.
So I look at my online bank account at 3:00 in the morning while I'm shopping on Amazon, and I'm like, oh, the $30 is there for that cute top. And then I buy the cute top, and then automatic payment comes out, and I'm like, oh, the $30 was not there, but it was 3:00 in the morning, and I wasn't thinking clearly.
Sure. Yeah, that happens.
If you're being really accurate, that doesn't happen as much.
Okay. I gotcha. So with that being said, what are some of the better ways to actually keep track? And then how I guess you just went over it, how keeping track can help people spot those habits they might have. But what are some good ways?
There are so many available ways out there. I think that understanding what works for you, like your personality. If you're a techie person, download an app. There are so many apps out there that are for budgeting. Some of them are really user-friendly. You can get cheap to free ones. You can pay for them if you're like the number crunching person who like loves the spending plan stuff, right? Those kinds of things are totally up to you. But if you're techie and you want the app, use the app. If you're someone who wants it on your phone so that it's accessible, but you're not really an app person, can you use a note or like a notepad on your phone and just write everything down.
Okay.
So like you start with your gross monthly or biweekly income, whatever it is, take out all your automatic payments.
Okay.
And then start putting in things as you purchase them. Then your total at the bottom is your actual.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha,
so you know, like the automatic payments, they're already gone. Like you can't count them as money in your bank. They're gone. They might not be gone today, but they will be gone at some point.
Right.
So you have to count them as gone.
Okay.
Then go from there.
Huh.
Right? You can do pen and paper. It's old school, but people tend to remember things about 60% better when you physically write them down.
Yeah, that's true.
And so keeping a notebook in your car, bringing your receipt out, writing it down, taking it out, right? Then you're going to be like, oh, do I have the money for that? No, my notebook in my car says no, right? Like there's so many different ways you can track, but you have to find a way to track that is one, accurate, and two, works for you that you will keep up with.
Okay, good to know. Good advice there. So how about when things go sour, when your budget is in the red, someone does that math, they realize they're spending more than they make. Oh no, what is the first thing they should do other than panic probably? But don't panic.
Take a deep breath.
Yes.
Take a deep breath. Try not to panic. I think that they need to look at like, what is the cause, right? Is it one of those like out of the blue payments that it's biannual or yearly payments that popped up out of the blue? And I was like, shoot, right? Is it short term? Is it long term? Right?
Yeah.
If you're noticing like, oh, my budget's in the red several months in a row.
Right.
That might look like your action items might look different than if it's like, oh, it's just this month and I'll be fine next month because something that I forgot about isn't going to come out.
Okay.
But you have two options. You can spend less or you can make more.
Oh, that's simple.
right? And you're like, oh, that's so simple, which is not, right?
Right.
But making more might look like, if you looked around your house today, how many items do you think you could find that are sellable items that would help you get to, let's say, okay, car registration. Let's say it's like a $80 to $100 car registration.
Okay.
Do you have enough items in your house that are causing clutter that you could sell today to make up that $100 or more?
I probably have enough to buy a car with the amount of clutter in my house.
Yes, probably the same. But, right, if it's a one-time thing, can you sell something? Can you do an odd job? Can you do a bake sale, right? If it's a little bit more ongoing, or if it's like a seasonal thing, like, oh, my power bill's always more expensive in the summer. First of all, look into level pay. Level pay is awesome.
Okay.
But secondly, if you don't want to be on level pay, have a yard sale. Collect all of those things that are causing clutter and have a yard sale once a year. Use part of the proceeds to go towards those extra costs of summertime air conditioning. And then you might also have a little bit left over for fun. Who knows, right? Like there are options there for how to make more money. And then if it's a long-term thing, right, you have two options in a lot of ways. You either have to take on a second job,
Okay.
which a lot of people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But here's the good news, like a second job, you don't necessarily have to have forever if you're willing to do the work to like level up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we call that workforce development. Like, can you get a degree or a certification or experience or something that can level you up where now you can make more?
Yeah.
And I know that for those of you who listened to our last episode, us ostriches, having those money conversations can be really difficult in like a work situation. But again, sometimes it's about like taking the leap and being brave.
Yes.
And saying like, how am I going to advocate for myself so I don't have to have the second job forever? Maybe like what would it take for me to make $1 more an hour? Then it's not asking for $1 more. It's just saying, what would it take for me to do that?
Right.
Right.
Nice.
And if the answer is you're never, ever going to get there,
Things won't go well.
then maybe it's time for a change, or like, how can you find a place who will value what you do for a little bit more?
Yeah. Well put. Gotcha. So let's talk about paying yourself first. What does that mean exactly? And why is it so important? And that mindset shift? Why is that?
Paying yourself first is the idea that your life and your future should be treated like a bill.
Okay.
I think that our society approaches saving really backwards. So most people, they get paid.
Okay.
What's the first thing they do?
Spend
On.
things probably they don't need. 'Cause They
Right?
have money. They see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they get paid, they pay their bills, and then they're having fun.
Sure.
Right. And then they go, and I'll save what's left over.
Oh.
And how often is there anything, much less anything substantial, left over?
Right. Yeah.
Rarely, especially for the ostriches and the peacocks out there, right? They're spending.
Yep.
So the idea of paying yourself first is to say like, yes, you have to make sure you have enough to cover your needs, your essential needs.
Okay.
And then you should put a chunk of your money into savings immediately.
Okay.
Have fun with what's left over, because the reality is that the difference between the life that you have right now and the life that you want for your future is whether or not you're willing to save for it.
That's a good way to put it.
And you are the most valuable commodity that you have. So if you're not putting money towards your future, no one else is going to do it for you.
Right. You're absolutely right. But when we talk about savings, maybe a lot of people who don't have a savings account, they just think, oh, there's just one savings account you can have. You put it in there. But there's several different options, like emergency fund savings, retirement, debt repayment. What are the different kinds that people should be thinking about?
Oh gosh, there's so many options for savings. There's education savings accounts where you can save for educational expenses. There's health savings accounts where you can save for health expenses. Medical savings accounts. There's emergency fund accounts. There's regular everyday savings accounts. There's youth savings accounts. You can have multiple accounts at multiple financial institutions, right?
Yeah.
So I, as a spender, I actually keep my emergency fund at a separate financial institution than all my other accounts. so that I can't see it and don't look at it. I'm basically hiding money from myself, but
That's
you know
a good
what? It's the
idea.
responsible thing to do. Okay. So it's allowed, right? You can even have savings accounts that are almost like folders.
Okay.
Because in your online banking, you can like rename your accounts, right?
Yes, you can.
So what if I renamed the account family vacations? What if I rename an account college savings? What if I rename an account, right? And then all of a sudden, every month I'm doing little transfers into each of those accounts.
Yes.
Now I'm going, oh, when my family vacation account hits a certain amount, I can book the family vacation.
Nice. Yeah, good idea.
Right? Like, ooh, check, like next goal.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. If I want to save for another family vacation, I can leave it. But if all of a sudden the goals change where it's like, ooh, new car because my kid's going to turn 16 or whatever it is, and I'm going to start saving for that instead of going on a family vacation this year, I can just change the name of the account. It's like having folders.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great idea. Now, what if someone, we were talking about, people in a lot of cases, they get their check and suddenly they spend it on all the needs.
Yeah.
They might not have that much left over. What would you tell someone? What if they can only save a tiny amount? Is that even worth it?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's so worth it. Like when I very first started saving, I talked about it last time. It was when my car broke down and I had to call my dad and ask for $400 to fix my car. Okay. And I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to pay you back, Dad. Right. And I was like ashamed and embarrassed that I had to ask for that money to fix my car as like a grown adult with a full-time job. So I had never had the habit of saving. But I started doing $20 into an emergency fund for my once a month teacher paycheck.
Okay.
$20, right? Like maybe I had to get one less latte, whatever it is.
Sure. Okay.
But in 5 months I had $100. And if my tire popped, I could pay for that without having to call my dad.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it just kept growing from there. And then when you get a raise, instead of like succumbing to lifestyle creep, which is like all of a sudden the money just disappears because my lifestyle changes because I got a raise, plan to put that money in savings instead.
There it is.
Right.
Nice.
And then your lifestyle doesn't change, but the amount that you save does. Mm-hmm. And then you're getting closer to all of those goals that you have in your life.
Nice. Great way to look at that. Okay. Now let's talk about budget frameworks as well as a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
What is the 50-30-20 rule, and why would you say that's a good starting place for budgeting?
Oh gosh, I think that a lot of people, so everyone has like their own budget philosophy, but I think for a lot of financial professionals, they'll say that a 50-30-20 budget is a good starting point, like a good jumping off place, right?
Okay.
If you're just starting a budget. Now, part of it is going to be like, what are you already spending? You do have to look at that when you're starting a budget.
Sure.
But the idea is 50% goes towards your needs. This is of your net income. Goes towards your needs. 30% goes towards your wants. 20% goes to savings. Okay. So the numbers have to add up to 100. If you do an analysis of where you're already spending, you do the highlighter thing for like the last 3 months, and you go, man, housing is expensive in our area, and I am not spending 50% on my needs. I'm spending more like 60, right? Then you have to adjust the other two numbers. So maybe it's 60, 25, 15. Maybe it's 60, 20, 20. It depends on how important that saving piece is to you and whether or not you want to give any of that up in order to have the things that you want. It's probably going to depend on your personality a little bit.
Yeah.
But those numbers can be a little bit flexible to help you out. The other thing that I tell people is that the flexibility of those numbers is great, but it's only accurate if you're categorizing properly. So phone, want or need?
I'd say need.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
To a point.
Okay.
Until you start getting a bunch of apps that you pay for. And
Okay.
But yes, need.
So in today's society, phone, need, absolutely.
Yeah.
Basic phone plan. Not the iPhone 16 Pro Max Titanium with the Ultimate Unlimited plan.
Ooh, I have that.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But the full cost of that phone and that plan is not a need. Especially if like you have a computer at home and a computer at work and you're not like doing any computer stuff on your phone unless you're just like sitting at home and scrolling, and you could go sit in the office and do it there.
Yes, you could.
Right?
Yeah.
Like then you have to say, okay, what's the cost of a basic phone and a basic phone plan? That goes in the need category.
Okay.
Anything above and beyond that that I want. There's a keyword, right?
Want.
Then it goes in the wants category.
Okay.
Another question. Groceries, want or need?
Need.
100% agree with you, except I need carbs, fat, protein, nutrition. Do I need the Oreos that I've put in my cart the last 3 times that I've gone? Now, granted, emotionally, I might need them. Okay. But like, they're not a chronic need.
Right.
And so we have to look at everything we do with money and like really focus in and say, am I categorizing this properly? We can't just look at the total on our grocery bill and say, oh, the whole thing is needs.
Yeah.
Because if I was walking through Walmart, the cute top that I saw on my way by that I was like, oop, fell into my cart. Don't know what happened there. Right? Like that's not a need.
Right.
So you can't put the total of that grocery bill in your needs category because it's not accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you have to look at things with like the mindset of like, I really want to get this dialed in. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I won't lie. It's a lot of work and it's uncomfortable in the beginning, but it's a skill, right? So the more that you do it, the more that you get used to it, the easier it's going to be as you keep going. And you'll notice where you're spending things that you don't need to spend.
Oh, yeah.
You'll notice whether like, oh, but I have so many needs. Like it's really 60%. And then 3 months later, you're like, it's not 60%.
Yeah.
And now I need to adjust my budget, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you find more room for things like saving, or you adjust how you're looking at your needs. Again, like groceries, right? Do you need pre-shredded cheese and pre-washed lettuce?
No, you don't.
Like how hard is it to wash lettuce and shred cheese, and how long does it really take?
I know. You just get a shredder and get the big block. It's cheaper.
Right. So we're paying for convenience, but we could save that money and put it somewhere else because the pre-shredded is not a need.
Right. Well put. Okay. Last question I got for you. We talked a little bit once again about personalities, money personalities that we talked about in our first episode. How much should someone's personality and spending habits play into how they budget?
I'd say at least a little bit.
Okay.
At least a little bit. In the sense that like, okay, if I'm an avoider and I'm a spender, I have to plan for the fact that like I need to put it on my calendar to like sit down, open all my bills, even the semi-annual and annual ones. I need to have a plan for them. I need to make sure they get paid because otherwise you get late fees, you get things going to collections. It's what you don't want, right? Because that's like giving money away for free.
Yeah.
We want to avoid that. On the other side of the coin, if I'm also a spender, right, I could go, I am not going to shop on Amazon at 3 a.m. this month. I'm not going to do it. It's not happening. And then when I do it, I have to beat myself up, right? I'm going to go, oh, I failed. I can't believe I did that again. Or I can say, I'm going to give myself a really small, like impulse budget.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And if I like, okay, you get $30 for the whole month on Amazon. You can spread that out however you would like. Right? Do you want to buy the $30 top and have it all gone in one go? Or do you want to be able to get like the 3 $10 things at different points of the month so that you get the like dopamine hit of like purchasing something? You get to choose. It's your budget. I'm not telling you how to do it. It's your spending plan. It's personal.
Sure.
But you can either plan for it and feel success and not feel bad because you're going, hey, I put that money aside. And if you don't spend it, you get to save it or you get to do something else with it. Or you can not plan for it and then be like, I did the wrong thing, right? So like you have to let your values and your personality and your psychology play into it at least a little bit to make yourself more successful.
Perfect. Okay, great advice today, all about budgeting with Brenna Greenwood, of course, CapEd's financial education specialist. Brenna, any last words or where can people go to find out more?
Yeah, you can always go to capedcu.com. There's more information in our Learning Center there. We do have a tool in our online banking. If you are a member, it's called Budget Tracker. So it's where you can kind of put together a budget. I do believe you have to be on a desktop to do it, so not the app, at least right now. And other than that, like do your research, try something, figure out what works for you. And if you hate the word budget, then call it something else.
Yes, do that. Sage advice from CapEd's financial education specialist, Brenna Greenwood. Brenna Greenwood, thank you so much for joining us for episode 2.
Yeah, thanks for having me.